welcome back to this week's episode, and in today's video I'll be doing a $1 design challenge using only this box of crayons. For this design, I'm going to create a residential landscape layout, and I'm going to include things like water features, greenery, and accessibility. In the past, I have used much simpler versions of drawings like these to convey ideas to clients. But today, I want to try and greatly increase the effectiveness of these drawings with only this box of crayons. So let's get started. As for the site, I'll be using the profile of a building I worked on another video, and you can check that out over here. To keep things simple, we're not going to focus too heavily on things like viewing points, topography, elevations. Some things we are going to take into consideration lightly are south-facing directions, some means of accessibility and viewing points, and just try to have fun with it. So let's see where this goes. So I'm going to start off with my building profile, and I'm also going to indicate a south-facing direction. And this is all sketched, not to scale also. And we'll have some means of egress or viewing points here, 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 Another thing I like to do before I go too far into a design is to list out some of the criteria and constraints. And for this simple design, we're just going to say that for some criteria, we need to have viewing points from windows, or you could say viewing points from living spaces. Another would be to have a water feature that is no longer than the building profile. Another thing is we could say the client wants a circle fire pit patio, and lastly for the criteria we could say the client also wants a pergola covered outdoor kitchen. Okay, now as for the criteria, most of them are self-explanatory in my opinion. For example, one of them could be something as simple as the building or the drawings have to remain within the property lines of the site. And obviously that's very straightforward, but something that might not be as straightforward, for example, could be there's underground utilities in the area where they want to put a water feature, or there are sprinkler lines in the existing yard that have to remain intact during construction. Those are some of the more unpredictable constraints that you might not know when you start a design or a project. So we'll just assume that there are just the basic constraints for this project and no unknowns, so to say. One last main point I want to make when it comes to creating specifically outdoor designs and landscapes like these is that as much as a person might want to be outside, or as much of an outdoors person one might be, most people spend more than 75% of their life indoors. So like I said, no matter how much of an outdoors person you might be, most of your time is going to be spent inside. So we really want to keep that in mind when we create things outdoors that we want to be viewed from inside the house or from inside the living space. So viewing points are a very important thing to take in consideration when doing so. here's the finished product. So as you saw in the video, some of the things that I added that I previously didn't mention are underneath this pergola section is a wood deck, which is shown by that brown shading. Around the water feature are these character stones, which kind of define the water feature, large boulders, bigger rocks, stuff like that. We have walkways connecting all of the primary features like the fire pit to the pergola section, exterior walkways connecting the front and backyards, and a vehicular access like a driveway. And that's the most of it. Of course, it isn't the most effective way of displaying your design or idea, but of course, this is just for fun, and these are, of course, $1 pack of crayons, which is the whole point of this video. If you have a project that you're working on with family members, or you want to create your own professional design, this is a great way to get started, or even just test some of your ideas out on paper. In my opinion, and most, it's always better to have a solid idea on paper than in your head, especially if you're going to be working with people, like I said. So if you like this challenge and want to see more, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. I haven't opened a box of Crayola crayons in, I guess, way too long, but it feels satisfying. Very nice. Let's go color.